Hello, everyone. This is Erica Kelly with our monthly disc explanation. Thank you for anyone that is going to watch this video. This video is going to be housed in YouTube. However, I do want to share with all of you that this meeting is about giving all of you a very general explanation of what the four primary personality styles are described in DISC, right? Personality styles and how we view personalities or human behavior goes back all the way to the Greeks when they started looking at really how if we were measured, how we were divided into four, mostly into four. And from the Greeks, it has evolved into really a magnificent platform of assessments that really give us a good foundational piece of who we are, how we can move forward, and a level also of what our personality is like. So today we're just going to concentrate on DISC, and we're going to start with two of the personalities. Those are the ones on top, the ones that if you see my screen, it says outgoing. These two personalities share energy. They share this beautiful high energy where it's constant. I don't know if you have ever met someone that can stand, right? Can sit, gotta do something, gotta go somewhere, gotta meet someone. So high energy, high energy. So, so for the dominant, go ahead, Donna.
No, I just said, that's me.
Oh, fantastic. So, for the dominant side of DISC, we find individuals that are very direct. And sometimes that directness is welcomed. And sometimes that directness can cut us in half, absolutely in half. So the deep personality, if I was to share percentages with you, the deep personality is roughly about 3% of the population. And is it 3% on purpose? I'm thinking that maybe it is. And I say it that way, not in a negative light, but the energy of someone that's D, right? You can see it in the chart. It says dominant. And it's dominant for a reason. They take control. They make decisions very, very quickly, and something that challenges them is the fact that some people take their time to think about things. Some people are indecisive. So indecisiveness is one of the things that really frustrates the deep personality. So I have, beautiful Donna here with me, and I wanted to pause just for a second. Donna and I, everyone, are certified coaches, trainers, and facilitators. And Donna also is a consultant for DISC, but we are both members of the John Maxwell Enterprise. So it's so nice to have you here,
Yeah,
Donna. And I
thank
want,
you.
yes, of course. And I wanted to pause here and see what are your thoughts about that strong energy that a D personality style brings to the table.
What I think,
Yeah.
what I think is is that I learned, my husband used to say to me over and over, who thinks like you? Who does things like you? Nobody's like you. I go, I'm not any different than anybody else. I would tell them. And when I started to learn the disc at a really high level, I realized I'm a high D, almost off the scale. and a high I actually, but the D is definitely the highest and the SC is below the line. And I realized when I found out I was only 3% of the population, I decided and I realized that now I don't have to be so frustrated with people.
Yes.
I thought to myself, I really am a little different than other people. And maybe that's why, like you just said, they get frustrated with like they can't make a decision. I make very fast decisions, so yes, I think that it's awesome to know that because it's really enlightened me to hopefully make me better and not be so direct, maybe, and so, understanding that I'm not like most people. So I should I might not take it. It's okay to know that they don't take it the same way I take it, right?
No, and we need to embrace that, Donna. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for
Yes,
showcasing the, hey, this has given me some awareness, and that awareness gives me a choice of
exactly.
deciding what energy I want to use in what situation. Sometimes we don't know. And I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And I say, if you don't know, you don't know,
Right.
comma. Once you do know, then you have a choice, right?
Right.
Now you can't use the I did not know anymore. Now you can say I chose to behave, I chose to act
Right.
in a specific way. So the D energy, when I'm coaching my D clients, I'm always saying in something similar that you said, Donna, is I'm always asking them to think about slowing down. One of the reasons that a AD thinks so fast and makes decisions so fast is because Ds have this beautiful gift in your high D. So you have this beautiful gift of being a visionary. So that means that you see faster than I do, and you see more than most people. So that's what
Right.
makes you, because you see it clearly. I see it blurry. Then you can go, come on, let's go. And I'm like, well, where are we going? And you're like, don't you see? And I'm like, no, I do not see. Right.
That's really true. It's absolutely true.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So your husband, by your husband saying, uh, slow down, not a lot of people think like you, not a lot of people do what you do. And because you're looking at your reality from where you're sitting, you're like,
Correct.
it's like everybody else. And the magic, right, of doing a disc assessment or any other disc assessment that helps you understand you better is exactly that, that it gives
Right.
you the awareness to think and go, oh, maybe my husband, if we want to give him credit,
Right.
my
Right.
my husband might be
Have
right.
something there. Right.
My husband might have something there. So let's move into the I, because you said that you also have that high energy I.
I
And
do.
yes,
I'm
so
all
let's
about energy. I'm all at the top of the scale with energy. Yeah.
I believe you. I believe you. So let's discuss the I again, just summary piece, where
Sure.
the I is again this beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful person that is looking at socializing, is looking at building relationships with humans. The eyes need a strong interaction, social interaction with other individuals. So what feeds their soul is to possibly go to barbecues. And if there's people that they don't know, they don't have fear. Some people do. They don't have fear to approach someone and say, hi, I'm Donna. What's your name? And, what do you do? And they're the ones that break the ice when it comes to building a relationship. So,
Right.
as you can see, outgoing, so high energy, influencing is what the chart says. Well, it is. And sometimes when I'm talking to I clients, I let them know that the I energy is the glue. So the glue of society. and in a different way, because the I does not have the fear of being around people. And because they feel comfortable with people, people feel comfortable with them.
Okay.
So because of that magic, if I can use that word, then an I person can connect at a human level with someone else much, much easier than other personality styles. Mm. Now, what's the difference then if D is high energy and I is high energy? What and they utilize that energy when it comes to people in one way or another. What here's the difference. The D, the D energy, high energy to move something forward. So if you see in the chart, the D is task oriented. So the D, high energy, decisive, in control of situations, will always tend to move that energy towards getting something done. And the people that they build a relationship with are not everybody. The people that they
Okay.
build a relationship with are people that are going to help them move that task forward. The I does not care about the task because if you see in the chart, they're people oriented. So that means that the I energy is going to purely concentrate on relationship building, that connection, human to human connection that I talked about, versus the D that is looking at you and I saying, can I use Donna for my project? Can Erica help me with X? And if the answer is yes, then they'll reach out and touch us to move the task forward. The I will just reach out and touch us because we're there and they want to get to know us. So Donna,
Okay.
from your perspective, you being an I as well, what are your thoughts about what I just said?
Well, I think that it's true, but I think because my D is higher, because you mentioned I do like to be around people, although I've been self-employed all my life and I've worked a lot of solo, like as a real estate agent, for instance, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But then I'm around people in groups. I have a tendency to be better, to be honest, in an audience when I lead it.
Of course, that's the D.
Right. I'm not a great mingler, believe it or not, because my D is higher. It's not my forte. I head to one or two people that I know and I start to talk to them because of what I think in my mind is I'm not sure what to say to the people to be a chit chatter because that's not my personality. Even though an I has that direction, my D that definitely shows my D higher. Does that make sense?
Of
That my
course,
D is definitely takes over my I. They're literally only 2 points apart, but I can tell the difference in my I because yes, I do like to be around people. I like community. I like community events. The program I'm creating right now is for women entrepreneurs, and I love the community aspect. I want to be live on the video like this. I don't like to be just talking to a video. So that definitely shows my community part. But I can tell the D is higher on me, even. I've realized that. Why then if my I's so high, I always thought, why if it's so high, then why do I not really like to go to and mingle? Well,
it's a choice.
it's because my D's higher.
Yeah, it's a
And I'm
choice. It's where you and I feel more comfortable.
right.
DISC, or when we look at personality and behavior assessments, what we're looking at is where uh, do we use the least energy? So
Right. It's natural. Our natural, yes.
exactly. So
Yes.
where do we feel uh more natural, like you said, more comfortable? What is the thing that we are most familiar with? Because
Right.
again, we're talking about DISC and breaking it down into four. However,
Right.
I hope that people that are watching this video understand that it's not about putting us in a box. It's about
Right.
understanding that we can, as we navigate through the explanation of the four, we can navigate through all four very nicely. However, is the energy that we are using. If you, Donna, you're a super high D, right?
Hmm.
Then how much energy, right? How much energy is it going to take for you to move to an I? Not a lot, because I is your secondary. But how
Right.
much energy is it going to take for you to be a C, for you to be an
Uh,
S?
a lot. It's going to drain me.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes,
going to absolutely drain me to do all the numbers and the tasks. Oh, no, 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 no.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
that's the point that I think that you and I are talking about today, and that is
Right.
how how do we understand that it's our primary personality style is where we feel the most comfortable in, because we're not using a lot of energy. Because
Right.
when we start using a lot of energy, meaning that we're stretching and we're shifting to another personality style,
Quadrant. Right.
then we need to build time afterwards to recover, because
We do.
we need
Absolutely.
to, yeah, we need to recharge our batteries, right?
But I think the key is, think, Erica, that I like to say is that if we start to understand these at a high level, what no matter what your personality profile is, you can be a better communicator if you start to understand the other person, right?
Of course.
And you can also be a better leader because you can delegate to the things that you're not good at instead of doing those things, which John Maxwell speaks about all the time, is doing what's our very best, our highest skill, our highest gift, right? Is working in that area. So I think this is so phenomenal to teach people how to use it in life and in business.
Absolutely, because again, if we're building a team and the team is made up of these and I's, uh, then there's going to be blind spots, right?
There
I'm
is.
not going to
Yep.
say that it's going to be crazy, but it could be crazy,
Could be crazy for
but
sure.
for sure, but it's going to have some blind spots. So the building up of our awareness, yes, it's fantastic to have an assessment done and for someone like you or I to debrief that assessment with them. But the assessment is going to give them awareness of who they are. Fantastic. It shouldn't be a surprise to them, because, like, I already know, if you give me a description of what this is, I already know where I kind of feel more comfortable in. However, it goes back to what you said. This tool gives you a great, kind of like a beautiful window of you
Right.
understanding yourself better. But how can you build a strong team? You need that S to help you. You need
Yes.
C to be accurate. You need that I energy, especially if you're in sales, to connect with people, and you need that D to be that driving force to make sure that a dream doesn't stay a dream, but it
Right.
becomes reality. Yeah.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if we then look at the S, and
Mhm.
again, the S, just like the I, is people oriented.
Right.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Mhm.
However, just like the I is people oriented, let's then look at the difference between the I and the S energy. Because if you see at the bottom, the S personality style is reserve, reserve.
Slower paced.
Yes. And
Yes.
they're very steady. Sometimes the S is described as someone that doesn't like change. And I would fight that back a little. The S accepts change. However, not really fast. Let's say you're working on something, you are an S, and I go into your space and I go, Donna, give me that project that you started a week ago. Start with this one now. then the S does then that quick change quick change is what the S has a problem with. Now, if you're an
Hmm.
S and I say, Donna, next week I'm going to give you another project,
Right,
and let me know where you are with the one that you're working on right now, and let's figure out how you can maybe do both or just one at a time. Then the S can absorb the change.
right. Has time to absorb. Right,
Yes. So the S personality is roughly about 68% of the population. Sometimes some experts say that it can be as high as 70% of the population, depending. But just like the eyes are the influencers in our communities, the S's are this beautiful human that is willing to help, willing to serve, willing to self-sacrifice for their friends, for their family, for the loyalty they have, for if they own a business, their business, or if they work for someone, whoever leadership is or whoever the structure of that organization is. So
right.
the S's are really the opposite of D, right? In numbers, right? 3% versus 68%. And also the S is always looking at team building. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Which versus the D that just wants to decide on their own. So there is a lot of connecting points, but I I think that hopefully in this video, you can see how we can start knowing each other.
Right. Well, that says a lot about safety and security too. So when I did real estate, for instance, an S, I could tell that because they always wanted a gated community. They always wanted to know that the crime rate in the area was, they were more particular about those things and also about the area they had to do family things. They're very, you know what I mean? They like their little family. Not that everybody doesn't like family, but I'm just saying they're really about that. I think safety, security, yes, steady. You can depend on them. Oh my gosh, you could totally depend on them. They're gonna make it happen somehow. You know,
Absolutely, absolutely. And versus the I in, let's say, a social event, the I can make themselves feel very comfortable in a, again, open setting with, let's say, 50, 100 people. They're like,
right. People they don't know. Right,
yeah,
right,
they got it. And as in a
right,
social event prefers to maybe have a dinner or a lunch with 3 or 4 friends at the most,
right,
a
right.
quiet place where they can have a conversation, because
Yes.
the way that the S takes care of people or is people oriented is all about helping. It's all about, like you said, feeling safe, which is
Mhm.
then in smaller rooms with
Right,
less people, usually family or friends,
right. Hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
um, for as I'm going through the D, the I, and the S, what comes to mind for you, Donna, when it comes to the S energy? That now we're looking at a group of people that are less. They feel comfortable with less people, and they're also very reserved in their private time.
I think of an S as being a great person to be my implementer, somebody that can implement things for me and maybe even have, I have the vision, but they implement it for me. Um, and I always come in the back end and finish it. So I think that it is very important to have an S in your life in some ways, because especially if you're ID, because you need that to pull you down, to center you. I think that it actually centers you. My husband's an S. So it actually centers you. He's very much about people, for sure. I mean, he's not fast paced, so you'd almost think he's in the I category. He just doesn't have the pace in it. He's more slow paced, methodical that way. So I think then S is so important. Well, they're all important, but that's so important to the way I work because it grounds me, you know.
Absolutely.
A
Absolutely. And the S person,
lot of my friends are S's. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
well,
Because you
we
can't,
need them.
very seldom do you have another D. I mean, sometimes you have another D as a friend, but S's are definitely, yeah,
Yeah, we need S's. The world needs S's.
absolutely.
Yes, 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 yes. So as we continue then to look at the bottom of
See?
this chart where it says reserve, now we move to the C, which is reserve in their tendencies, and they're also just like the D, task oriented.
Right.
So the personality C, 18%. 18% roughly of the population is C. They are methodical. They're compliant, like the chart says. And compliant doesn't, hopefully you don't take it as a negative. Compliant just means that a C personality needs margins. They need margins. They need policies. They need laws. They need a foundational piece of some sort to feel comfortable, right? They
Yes.
need a foundation. So they say it says compliant because they will comply with the margins. They will
Right.
comply with the law. They will follow the law. They will follow organizational policies. And
Right.
until those policies change, will they not be the enforcers, right?
Right.
So a D, as an example, Donna, will say, why don't we do it this way, right? Because the D is always thinking outside the box. The
Hmm.
S is always staying in the
In
box,
the box.
right?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, the C is staying in the box. So the C will tell the D, we no, we cannot do that, which aggravates the D, like why not? And then the C will very calmly will say, because policy says 1, 2, 3, because the margins state 1, 2, 3, because the law says ABC. So they have this factual way of securing themselves,
Right. They want it done their way too. They really want it done their way.
because they think
Right.
absolutely that they're right because they have all the facts, they have
Right.
done all the research, they have made
Right.
all the phone calls to double triple
Right.
things, right?
Right.
So it's so they, a piece of that C personality, if not careful, just like the D can move too fast,
Right.
the C can become very stubborn and
Hmm.
say no and hold on
Hmm.
to that no without um, slowing down, like I would ask a D, or I would tell the S, open up your awareness a little bit so you can look at different perspectives so you can see if there is a chance that you have a blind spot and you missed something. Hmm? Okay.
Hmm.
So, but the C will see people as people. However, um, a task, a project, a research becomes their foundational piece where they're going to spend most of their time. So researchers, doctors, they like working alone. Uh,
Engineers,
en-
CPAs,
engineers, for CPAs for sure. Anything that has to do with
numbers and structure.
numbers and structure, yes, ma'am. And to a point, the C's are called the intellectuals of all the personality styles. However, let me ask you about, your thoughts of overall of a C, and then what I want to do is move on quickly on an explanation of the fears that each personality style faces.
I would say the C is is in the industry even that I came from within real estate. C was one of the most frustrating groups because a lot of us as entrepreneurs were D's. Okay, and definitely I's if they weren't D's. And C's were so like technical, like want to know the square footage of something or the how much are the taxes and how much are this and that's all fine, but they were slow to make a decision, very, very slow to make a decision, much slower even than the S for sure. So to talk about change, they don't like change at all, like at all. So that pushes against, you know, the majority of society, I would say, right? Trying to move toward, I mean, like you said, this S's were 68% or whatever. So it's just like, I don't know, they were probably the hardest ones to work with, I felt, and I could pinpoint them probably the fastest because they're very in a box, like you just said. That's the easiest way to explain them is they're kind of in a box. And I find that some people are in jobs that they really aren't a C personality. And so you have to watch that. You can't just say it. Yes, typically they are CPAs, engineers, things like that. But sometimes they're in that job and they really don't like it because they're really not in that. They really are a different personality, right? And that's what I think this all helps with is for
Mhm.
you to be able to use your highest level of your natural abilities to, to be effective, right, in life.
No,
So,
absolutely. And the good thing of, I mean, there are, like we were mentioning before, a multitude of platforms that can give you awareness of your personality and behavior.
right,
Same with disc assessments. There's a multitude of disc assessments out there in the market. The one that you and I use, Donna, is People Key with John Maxwell, and that one is unique from the perspective that it showcases to us three different views of our personality style. One is when we use a little bit of energy to describe ourselves to ourselves. So it's a private conversation, yeah, between uh, between me and me. And
okay,
so then that conversation would highlight, at least for you, it would highlight, I am, decisive. I am a risk taker. So you would describe yourself in that private conversation as a D,
right,
let's say, and we already said that. Uh, However, let's say that you are a DI, but you are working in a environment that you need to be a C,
right,
right? So then that assessment will showcase how you see yourself, one, and then another graph will showcase how much you have to shift who you are in order to adapt to the environment that you're in and how
right,
costly that can be, right? If you don't adjust things. And then it gives you a third view, which is what happens to you when you don't have the time to think about who you are, when you don't have the time to really, they call it, or at least in the assessment, it's the mask. We put a mask
right,
on to reflect a specific personality. But what about if you
right,
don't have time to do any of that? Then
right,
the third assessment or the third graph that it shows you is how do you use your energy when you are in a chaotic, very stressful situation? And I think that's magical for us to be able to see ourselves
hmm,
in three points of views, because
right,
as I look now at sharing with the audience what the four fears are for each of the uh, personality styles, please remember that I'm only talking about these I's, S, and C's, but um, unless we do an assessment, we don't know which one is a primary and which one's a secondary. So as I'm
right,
so as I'm sharing fears, we might have one fear or two or three or maybe all four, right? But let's start with the fear of the D personality style. And that fear is that uh, they are going to avoid people. So the D usually has this wall around them that's called trust, right? They don't trust a lot of people because Their fear is that they're going to be played.
Taken advantage of.
Yes,
Yes.
that someone's going to take advantage of them, that
Yeah.
someone's going to cheat them out of something, that someone is going to take credit for something that they have done. So the D is always very cautious because their fear is that if I, like for me, right, if I tell Donna this, my innate feeling is I can't tell Donna that because she'll take advantage of me. She'll use it against me. So anytime that as we navigate, what we're talking about, please think about this because that means that if that fear, you're not aware of that fear, that fear can take control of you and you start making decisions on your business, on your life, on your family, on your friends, on whatever you want to do without realizing that it's a fear that you have not named that's stopping you from moving forward. Like the eye. Why, why, why is the eye so friendly, so outgoing? Uh, such a beautiful energy of being an example of how humans can connect. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the eye doesn't want to be invisible. They don't want to stop existing. So in interacting with an eye, if you quickly, a D can do this, a C definitely can do this. If an I personality approaches friendly, nice, outgoing, and you just go, hi, and you move to the other side, the C goes, I already said hi. The D is, I don't need you, so why are you talking to me? Right? The I will not understand that that is their personality style. So the I will get in front of that C, in front of whoever, just kind of like dismiss them or the perception that they were dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go, do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? And they'll continue on with sometimes superficial conversation until you go, I see you, please, I see you, right? But their fear is not to be invisible, to disappear, to not matter. Mm?
Right.
Now, the fear of an S, why are they so helpful? Innately, and we can have a debate about this. But we're just talking. We're just talking here. The S wants to be accepted
Right.
as by an individual, accepted by a group of people. And mostly that's the driving force of why they want to help so much. Donna, do you accept me? Am I part of your family? Am I part of the tribe? Am I part of this organization? So remember early on when we were describing the S, you and I used the word safety,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
accept me,
Yeah, I'm safe.
if the group accepts me, then I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, uh, innately, they are fighting that fear or confronting that fear
Mm-hmm.
that says, please accept me, please accept me. So a good example would be that you say, Erica, let's do this, whatever that is. If I'm an S, I want to say no. I really want to say no. I don't want to do that with you, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
But what comes out of my mouth is, yes, of course I'll do that with you, Donna. Because the fear paralyzes me, the fear takes control. And just the thought of you not being my friend, just the thought of you not accepting me anymore is stronger. So I say yes when I really want to say no.
Right.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
And for the C, what is their biggest fear? The C, why, like you said, why are they so slow? Why do they not make a decision? Well, they're looking for perfection. So they're always looking for another piece of research, another phone call to make to double, triple check everything. Well, let me check this one more time before I give it to you. So why is the C personality looking for perfection? Because of the fear attached, and that is the fear of criticism. So no one likes criticism, but for a C to be criticized, it cuts him in half. In half. So
But it's funny because a C almost always is the critical one in the group.
of course,
They evoke criticism, right?
yes,
Seriously.
yes. And so like I share with you, when I work with these, I say slow down so people see the vision. Uh,
Right.
when I'm working with eyes, I also say slow down that energy so you don't come across as someone that's superficial because of how you build relationships. When I'm working with an S, I'm saying make a decision for yourself. Don't just say yes to others, say yes
Right.
to you. And when I'm working with C's, Donna, I am telling them that something innately in a C personality is that they hate criticism. So they have built these very, very high standards for themselves. Okay, for themselves.
Right.
They'll never meet those standards, right?
Right.
Because remember, they're looking for perfection. They'll never meet the standards. But when they
Right.
are not careful, when that C becomes a little and a little stubborn, then the C moves those really high standards that they have for themselves to other people.
Right.
And now no one,
Can
a
reach that.
spouse,
Right.
a child, a coworker, a supervisor, leadership, no one will ever meet their standards.
Right.
So yes, a C, Donna, can, if not careful, can become uh, have this huge blind spot of being a huge critic to others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's what I have, Donna. That's the
That's awesome.
combination of the four primary personality styles in DISC. What I would like to do is maybe give you the floor. I know that you're a business owner. Maybe if you feel comfortable in this video, just share where people can connect with you. People can connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and what about you?
Oh, thank you. Well, I actually am just kicking off a brand new business called and Confident. So it's a coaching, mentoring business, and I am creating a course specifically for women entrepreneurs. And in it, a lot of it is around this right here. It's around knowing your gift, God's given gifts. I call it your geniuses, unlocking your genius, and becoming who you're meant to be. So I have an Instagram also. It's called and Confident. Same thing with my Facebook, and so is my website's just my name, donnalondo.com. So anyway, thank you for letting me do that. I really appreciate you. This is awesome. It's great to hear from everybody's different perspective. I love how DISC evolved from back in the day from Marston, who created it. And he was in everybody. I love the little tidbits of how he created the Wonder Woman comic book. Do you know that?
Yes,
Wonder
yes.
Woman comic book, and he was very much a women's believed in women's rights and things like that. And he was a doctor. He was many things. He was very good. Yeah, I just love this platform. I think it's awesome, and it's really. I just think it can make you be so much more of a better communicator and a better person if you understand yourself. And
Yes.
then it helps you to understand others more too. If you have that desire to be a better communicator and a better leader, you got to have this.
Agree
So
100%, Donna. Thank you. For
thank
me,
you.
this platform is open. It's complimentary every month. for anybody that wants to come in. Sometimes people bring their disc assessment and
Okay.
feel comfortable enough that then we go through their disc
Oh, that's
assessment
good.
and we
Okay.
explain that specific personality
Right.
to the individuals, to the audience. So yeah. So for anyone that's watching this video, you can find me or check out my website, ericakelly.enterprises.com. And I will see you next month, November. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.